Hey, hi everyone. I was lonely, spending some late time, and decided to smoke a joint. And I figured I'd share it with you guys so you can have a whiff of whatever you need, I guess. So I wanted to. I'm not too sure how to call what I wanted to speak about. It's something about the inner self and how to color change using music and marginal music, especially. Um, I often surf in album art. I have my Sonos and I have a mini reader that puts the album art on. Now I noticed that depending on what I'm thinking about or who or what I'm thinking about, I can get people or things or stuff to happen depending on what color, what element, or what I'm looking at, or where the love is on what I'm looking at. And I noticed that a lot of album art is made to fool it, kind of thing, and it talks to it a lot. And if you concentrate on the album art, listening to the band, I prefer metal because the drum kind of it's an M16, it's an AK-47. Uh, it kind of hammers common sense, I guess, into it that's hiding in this horny spot I feel all the time, especially looking at album art, because they want you to feel it. They want you to feel where it's at and to know how to deal with that. Sometimes it can be an influence because they're kind of, I'd say, dwellers, or if you're a good lad or somebody that's really good in life, most likely might be used as a shield or some sort of a host system that a certain type of personality needs or looks for within people, because and often it's people that depend on white. So they'll use the way they use white in album art. Often there's no white at all, no white, no pure white. So if you stamp love feeling, I love to force you into. Usually when I look at a tip, on the tip, there's the love I'm talking about. It's kind of like the orgasm family feeling. When they say fuck you, it's not to be nasty. It's to press on the love and to fuck the love, which is often a girl's love, but you learn that guys can be girls and they're all in the white spots. See, they have a deluxe spot. I should put 3 up there because I would be probably the 1, 2, and 3 trio of white aura people, and fascists and fascism and organized crime and the sort of a camp system and the sort of secret police kind of gang stalking kind of thing. They all need one thing, is in their collaboration is they maintain this white zone. Their eyes surf on flashes. That's why they like Chrome so much. Because with the Chrome, they have multiple angles they could travel to. Because when they're trapped in one of these, you stamp the love on this, something just fell in love with whatever's white, whatever's the love stamped on. And some of them are conditioned only to look for white. And then what they had was this tendency to dominate everything. So they would jump to a space in order to become the master of whatever they were stuck at, kind of thing. Because these are bird cages, kind of thing. But they start, because when I concentrate on album art, pictures, people, inert stuff that doesn't move normally, as soon as I get into this brain state, I think that's what they call the alpha brain state, which is a lower or higher frequency. I think it's higher. I'd have to check with other YouTube videos that speak about the alpha brain state. I don't have none. I listened to one, but I can't remember if it's a higher or lower frequency. But that's where the magic happens. And that's where you feel the love. The love is often the problems. So you love it down to get rid of bad habits and nasty roses and fascist curses and whatever Burger King had going for the good night you can be. Because remember, if you're a good night, your name is written on Harley Quinn's back. And she hasn't changed it yet. Well, she's changing it slowly, I think. It'd be a lot more intelligent to back the bad night and Kane. Because Kane's going to end up killing them. He killed his brother. So if you always get closer and closer and closer to what Cain represented, the legacy of Cain, you probably will get backstabbed by it, because that's what you worship. So once that domination problem was done with, and they managed to dominate whatever white spots there is. Like if I concentrate on you and I connect on you, and I look at this album art, then there's no white. So it's kind of an off-white that's kind of bluish. I just stamp the love on it. There's some red. The red is it's kind of a cool sifter. It's these guys, whenever the light disappears, they kind of get fucked into red or into this kind of darker color. See, when the white disappears, what happens? Or you can have fun like with one of these on the tips. When you make the tip disappear, there's this, because you put the love on it, then they want to dominate the whole thing, to control it, and then to hop from place to place in order to dominate this whole space or my head. I think that's why one of them crawls in the black of the hair sometimes. That's what they call in French a piercing. It's a swan father. But the swans were all evil because they were in the legacy of Cain, kind of problematic fascist domination that was teaching them how to sabotage themselves properly, to lose everything to white supremacy or something. I don't know. It was a pretty good scam because it went on for about 2,000 years, or as soon as the Bible came out. So they started running around with this fear thing, and they cut the inner self from people. So what happens when I look at this blue black and I sift? So I'm squeezing the love. So I'm making it love something it doesn't want to love just by just by scraping the love on it. Fascism taught people not to touch that. And they were always, because it was them. They're always naked, kind of thing. Because when you feel the love, well, it's their love you're feeling. And usually they'll go, oh, look at the girl, and then they'll twinkle your love a bit, so you think that it's the girl moving that's making you this little needy kind of orgasm that doesn't really want to. That doesn't really make you want to get laid or anything. Because one of the organized crime was this really horny feeling you'd get, and you'd fall for anybody, even if she weighed 200 pounds. You just get this kind of need thing going in. Plus the fact that your inner self would be cut off, and that they kind of cemented those stuff and the state that people have, the spirit has to read. Well, all the wiring have been intended so that people don't feel that, and then they get in trouble. They become molesters if they touch the love, molesting that girl they feel it on, or they put it on a kid, and then you become a pedophile or something. Or they'd hide that love, and being in a dominant position, it would affect your perception with the love. And because you feel it, if you fall into the trap thinking it's your love, you'll be taking them to your intimacy, and then he'll be affecting what you love or hate. Not if you're black, you're kind of immune to that because you know it's not what dictates what you like that you feel. It's what they or we likes. We is them. We is the count. It's two that does three. The devil makes three. That's a band. Folk is good too for music meditation. See, this album, I forgot. I want to sift you through this album art. See how I get this taste in my mouth when I sift through these colors, and I rub the love on it to clean whatever poison or venom that could be present in the tints of colors, in the frequency of the color. So by rubbing love on it, you clean it out, and you make yourself love that, or make them love that. But remember, they need white to be functional and to be clairvoyant. And the way they manipulate people narcissistically, because it's always for their goddamn ego and for their own advantage all the time, and to look like a superstar and to be very popular, being really charismatic usually. And back here, the dominant leaders were all fascist Nazi punks that were really popular. Nobody had a clue that they were acting exactly like a fucking Nazi punk, making people avoid love and manipulating situations. They didn't even get the canes out. They'd start bugging you to turn your head with the cane. Using love, red people don't tend to resist that much because they're hosts and they live through what the alpha blue male or the white one used to be alpha and would dominate black, but black would let themselves be impregnated by the influence and be able to change where that dweller's interest leads to the love. So by letting them occupy, you can know what they want to make you love or what they want to get you interested in, because they're using your sight and your memory to travel through those wide spots that you kind of get programmed into showing here. See if I hide this spot, they get sifted, they get a red pass, then it reappears. They know it's gonna come back, so they hide somewhere in my head or my memory. And then I'm always loving that. So they're getting whatever the music frequency. Music will do that. Will help you give the right color and right frequency, the right words to the right person, kind of thing, and to whoever deserves evil death, will get the fucking cross and whatever. You just give them a skull. That pretty much does it. It makes them love the skull to become a fucking walking dead. Because those are all bird traps. And then when you feel the love, I'm kind of masturbating right now. I'm kind of making it love. I don't know what. I'm not paying attention to what I'm giving people. There's someone here. That I feel them under my chin. I connect my chin to my crotch, and then I start feeling around as if I had cable or holes, like a puppet that would play around in my crotch. But that's silly. But that's where you feel them, and whatever horny feeling you feel down there, if you're awake and you have real eyes to see where their attention's going, to real eyes. Often they'll try to take the eyes to see, because when they take the eye of the image, they see the rest of the image. Because remember, they're stuck somewhere in a white spot, but they're traveling through your sight, trying to find a better place. They depend on you. So you just slam the love on yellow and say fuck them. You fuck yellow into them. And that'll make them nice. Yellow is kind of a Johnny B. Good kind of. They got the Johnny influence and the lemon juice, I guess. The banana phone kind of. So some of them here is they do this is because they communicate. Well, often the blue would have or the ones with really big piercings, they'd fool you into entering the dimension they created in the rings. That's why some metalheads have rings here. It's to show them they don't mind being dominated, because they were dominating machines, kind of thing. And there was this program, they couldn't even stop themselves. There's something in there that was sometimes. Do you notice I bring the past to the present? Because when you verbalize stuff, you're creating your reality. And according to me, everybody has their own kind of dimension and reality they live in. And this interacts with whatever realities they encounter and all that. But it's pretty much dimensions kind of thing. The moment you look at a person, well, that's the picture the universe sent you, and that's the look you were supposed to notice. And that was probably the look of that white fella looking at you, because when you're like me, you always speak to your nemesis, or it's always present in the person you're talking to. And then you notice that everybody's trying to kill you, kind of thing. Or they all have this movement they do that would pull my knee, and and the hand that smokes would go up right away, or they all had a burning whatever that would make me look at the ashtray or something, or make it flash, or tempt me into killing myself and smoking or something, or make me need or feel uncomfortable and then I light a smoke or something. They all had, and that's why I say pictures and album art moves. As soon as you put love on it, it's like giving it spirit, uh, and it'll start to respond through that image, even though it doesn't like colors, because often in album art they'll fool them into oh yeah, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, to look at all my other videos, and to like this, to share it, and I hope you feel all this and you're smoking a good joint right now. So yeah, often in album art, the white can never be contained. What they need, they'll look for corners. What they really want is a triangle and be the one on the top, because for them it's a pyramid, and it has to be white. They have some helpers. They have a red one, a blue one, in the old positions that can endure those colors, but still acts evilly, kind of thing, and still is programmed. So whoever he calls or when he moves, it directs you to this place instead of that place. So they're all kind of in a dynamic that's still a bit fascist, that's changing from sifting yellow and red and blue and green and colored juice and influence, and from purity of the rainbow and frequency from music. Each frequency has a code. So, and the music, well, I listened to a lot of music. I grew up without a TV. Well, I had a TV being young. I looked at a lot of TV, watched a lot of TV, but as soon as I was a teenager or something, TV went away and it got replaced by music. And our punk music, our folk, our metal, our folk punk was teaching us to kill our television, to keep away. And that's why YouTube is a lot better, because it's true individuals that you can sense, and then that people will like or not. And so you can actually, they're not working for this huge news owner that indoctrinates and fucking manipulates masses with their mass media and blah blah blah. It's true human beings that do that for themselves, or to help others, kind of thing, and make money also, but to help others, or to exteriorize themselves. So they're not in this economical empire and they're just this two of spades, being used and programmed and kissed into talking a certain way that will encourage this and that will shut the way, breathe the way, there's tea in the way, it tastes like metal. Are you sifting this joint stuff? The music's probably giving you a whole bunch of red right now if you're in the music thing. The only thing they put white is their names for them to remember their name because the music will heal them from this evil program that kicks in every time this or that happens or this is looked at or those evil programs form routines and they were based on intimidation and this fascist manipulation that was totally simply an encouraged narcissism and narcissistic abuse. That's how they would create mental illness and all viruses and whatever is sickening or is all either a sort of alien wiring kind of kiss thing or demons that haven't been purged by a chromatic purge. The beach is nice. Is that what just flashed? What's this? I still feel that love thing. That's this is the love. So whatever you want to love, you just say it on that. It's like a gun. That's why in Pulp Fiction she has her gun on her bed. Because she has this horny love thing that she feels that she could put music on. Music hammers that. I was listening to, well, if they're there, they're getting brainstorming with the music. And with me, anyways, if they're in here, it's fucking living hell. And there's no more there's no more room in hell. All they're having fun. Yeah, so on that love, well, if you say shit, oh shit, did I say that? Or no? That means that loves shit. So you don't notice shit. No. You can be a real shithead like that. You just go like that and say shit. So it stands right on the kisser. So that's the power you have when you feel the love. And when you're always in a loving attitude, they don't mind that. They like pink, they know is associated with love, not temptation. And it doesn't give any bad needs if what you want isn't bad. Because sometimes love can fool you and direct you or give you what you wanted. And if what you wanted because you're smoking is nicotine, well, when you feel the love, your brain might give you immediately what you wanted when you feel the love, because that's how it shows your heart and your body what to eat or consume or breathe in or whatever. With love, when you love something, whenever you focus on something, your eyes drops a dab of love. In this album art, I'm directed to the white buttons on the pedal. It's this circuitry that's all weird. This one has a heart. They love hearts. The hearts are white hearts are the really, really, really good birdcage. Just put a white heart somewhere. There you go. It's fucking stuck there. But it has this black guy that helps it out. It can travel a bit. But what I do is I always fool it. It thinks it's there, but it's actually there. You know? So he knows that when he was there was a white spot with other ones close by that he could kind of cheat into, manipulating dimensions and your memory and your sight and your perception. So he'll eventually manage to dominate the whole image. But you kind of want him to do that because he'll start obeying some sort of structure within it also. And then now that we kind of took the control back, that a lot of people on the red juice, and then the evil got purged out of them with this yellow bath, and then the truth came out with the green bath, and it was all in the deep blue sea. The letter C is a really good one to see, and then you can P on it. C and P. C and oh well. If I really, really want to be an evil dominator, I'd M you. No, you gotta M you, because otherwise you will M you. And M is the master. Well, I had my version was the love, because in French M is love. So I'd M everything, so everything would be kind of smoothed down and kind of kissed, and would get the influence they need momentarily. It kind of changes the whole dynamic. And you can, and what's fun with the love is when you feel it, you don't really do nothing on purpose. It's when you try that you're messing stuff up. Well, once in a while, you can kind of redirect intentionally, but you try not to do it too often because you don't want it to understand you and to understand how to prevent or to predict your attitude or what you will, where you will send them or what you will do or the decision you will take, because it gets used to that. It's adapted to it. So the more you do it intentionally, the more he can understand your mechanism and your defense mechanism, your offense mechanism, or whatever, or your reflexes, where and when you turn the lights off, or where and when it sifts, what makes him sift this, what makes him sift that, what's the force doing for them. Oh, see, this makes the atmosphere appear. And then you have this. Usually when they stick their tongue out, it's because they feel the love. And they tell you they're licking you. That was and then those little Snapchat animal ear things, those were automatic dominators. Because you'd fall in the ears and you'd fall like when you fall in a ring, you're actually entering that person's domination, if you, well, in some sort of way, because putting you through that whole rings and constellations and elements can form an invisible barrier, but in a ring there is a barrier. So you can transform that with thought and love into when entered, they enter your reality because you gave that space a role. So by attracting whatever is on love into the domination route, you know you will never get overpowered because they're in love with the ring. They're in love with your dimension that comes from your thought. And beyond thought, if there's no thought, there's not much stuff that exists, I figure. Because thought kind of models energy, frequency, spirit, and all that into some sort of reality. When you dance with music and you concentrate and you let yourself go, you have to let your body move to the music. Try to fall into this daydreaming state and wiggle your love onto the music kind of thing. And then after a while, you'll start thinking about something else, and something just might happen around that moment is that you might notice that you're surfing on a frequency And you're probably playing guitar because she plays the guitar. She's ours. And to play the guitar, well, like Gogol Bordello says, if you want to learn how to kiss, you got to know how to play this thing. And your unicorn, everybody has a sort of unicorn. Whoever's a host, anyways, or a good person, will have these influential, how do you say influential, something advantages where they can influence or inspire people into changing or make them change. Just Rama, or just passing through a log. you squeeze the love on the log and just wait till he makes it through. Clean that soul pretty damn good with that. Trees, dude. Just feed it to the trees. He's gonna, or put them in the ocean. Push. That'll wash it and gives us all this prana, this chi. It's like air conditioning. You feel it in here, and it seems like it's coming from either one of the chakras. When you're in contact with your real eyes and your inner self, you get the waves. The waves up here. It's the grail. It's the wake up. You got to wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Alpha. 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 Oh, this is the zone you're looking for. Alpha zone. In the alpha zone, the dominant people will have that zone. The blue hair will have they'd be showing you, they'd be pressing on the button trying to show you stuff, and people are blocked. They cemented the tape. Yeah, we have to dig through it, love the frequencies, and redo all this fascist wiring that's been tampered with since Christ, and even before that by the Egyptians. Whatever maintained a hierarchic functioning. Maybe if we managed to go, well, we kind of did, but the pyramidal system kind of flipped upside down. And then a lot of people made it to the bottom, which is on top of the pyramid, that have influence. It's this invisible structure in society. Whoever would be on the top of that pyramid on the dollar bill could call himself God, because it was his reality, and whatever he says, that would make your reality. It was a Benedict. Bene comes from Béni in French. Béni is blessed, and Dict is a dictator. Blessed dictator. Benedict, that Nazi priest was that Nazi Pope Benedict was a blessed dictator. And then whatever was underground, the camp, and the two of the spades and the ace bar. Motorhead calls me the ace of spades now. I'm the one that's winning. The ace of spades, the ace of spades. I can't stand in place. I'm always doing. So I guess it's me they notice, because being in touch with all this danger and these kisses and that, and having to get rid of them with music and having all these weird giants kissing and putting evil spirits and all the objects everywhere, and everything would be screwed up big time. Those kisses, those roses. Now, I was gonna buy a rose bush. Roses are cursed often. It's the Godfather has a rose here. Fascism that gives you roses. And everybody has a rose that maintains this fascistic game, or they have that rose that would hide love and encourage swindling and whatever crossovers you could get, and would put good people on the cross. So the good night would become a a pedophile getting beaten and killed in jail because they tampered with his sexual chakra making and putting voices making him love kids. It's just as narcissistic tampering. All mental illness is a network of people calling themselves in this order, doing this action to your brain because they're dominating randomly or methodic with a method, and they all have this thing they make you do or make your brain do that either maintains you in a place where you critique and smash your self-esteem. That would be depression. But it's this network, they befriend you and then introduce you to all their toxic friends, what the camp does. And it's similar to what this Nazi police spy agency was doing in East Germany back in the Nazi years or whatever. And that had that has been written that like maybe 5,000 people got irreversible sequels and brain damage and from that harassing. It's like gang stalking. The gangs continued that, and they would scare the good night. It's written on the back. Good night. It's good night as buenas noches, but it's just not to get caught telling everybody in the camp, and everybody was becoming a little white fucking helmet, paratrooper for the Empire. It was crazy if you were a Jedi or this good night fella that would be this Rasta. I mean, I had Rastas, so I got really good friends that would remind me of having a smoke every 30 seconds. And that would make me love smoking crack and doing cocaine, showing me all those canes for the Festival de Cannes, the cane festival. So what they use is the alpha brain state, and they used to have access to something or be able to make you think it was what you like instead of what they like. So they managed to influence what you look at and the information you gather by tampering with your love. What we do, what music does. That was this album. What's this album art doing for you? Somebody's in the yellow. Those are flames. Fire burns. Burn. Fire. Somebody's in the powder blue. Depends. I don't think I have much hosts anymore. But if I stare you into the red here, it's this fresh red bath, and then it burn you with the flames. His face is in the flames. It was trying to become a face. What it was trying to do is it was again. It either looks for contrast, and the first thing it looks for is a white spot. I don't know if it's because of the stars or. I once played with the white and black spot in a yin yang, and it seemed to spawn perpetual galaxies. Or the love would create a way between the black and the white if they would love each other. A way would come out, energy from the universe, life energy, what your spirit needs, what they cut off to make you need luxury bullshit. So yeah, what you need basically. So I lost what I was saying. I'm always leading. I'm always a hair away, and you're probably a hair away from feeling this. saw a lock on, ding, ding, kind of stops. I kind of grab it. No, I don't know if I can manage it. Oh, what's happening? What's moving? I like to play with people with the distance. That's what they try to do when they say, "Oh, girl," that it's their love because they're always needed. If you ride a motorbike, you have to take your bra off. Love says, and it was so. So just so whatever's pointy, and then you see all. That's why metal logos are always pointy. It's because they crunch themselves, falling in love with whatever's palest all the time, and then needing to dominate everything. They'd look for corners. Oh, what they really love is diamonds like this. This is a black one. No, they can't really. The black diamond is kind of the new one. I figure because it's black, unless they corrupt the black in it. They had corrupted black holes. Then those were traps because you'd enter some other reality kind of thing. That's why we direct them into those black holes. So they remain in their dictature where they dominate each other and torture each other and kill each other until they become good. So their reality is kind of everybody's bossing them around and trying to win this chess game every time they speak to someone. It's always a competition. So that's the reality they live in. They're working at 24/7 in this dominating reality that they were wishing for. Because if they were working for the camp and fascism, well, that was leading to supremacy and monopoly and the snake eating its tail again in this capitalistic game that's only bound to self-destruct. So that's a reality that's disappearing because Walking Dead, the wall is dead, the wall is dead. Even the sorcerer in Star Wars had yellow eyes. If his eyes are yellow, his soul's been kissed with a good source. So his initiative, his thought. What can you go beyond thought? Yes, I figure in some sort of quantum leap of some sort, but you might have to be deprived of whatever is real and a certain reality, eliminating thought. So, but what they would do is they would get at the origin of your thought. But if the eyes are yellow, that means the soul, his origin, his source, is emanating from goodness. So it's just a matter of time from sifting that yellow and that red and blue and the frequencies, and with all the music, what it's doing to them, it's speaking to them on the not yelling with the 12 gauge like a kid, being a prick and saying, "You goddamn prick, bang, bang, bang," or just pulling the trigger non-stop, bang, 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 bang. Every time you feel that, somebody dies. But you're actually trying to love something into them. But some of them are geared to dissipate when this is done. And often that corresponds into an object you've decided to occupy, and they manage to get out of what you were focusing on and where you were putting the love. They manage to wiggle away through your memory, perception, and go into your peripheral vision and then they hide in an object that's not in the album art you're looking at, because that album art is gonna tint them. In French, they don't like a word. It's the morning, matin, because they took all the words that we use a lot, and they said that means us. That means us. So ma, which is mine, ma was possession. So whenever you say ma something, it's a feminine for when something girl, it belongs to you. It's ma something. Ma was them, was the twos. It was the twos and threes. The can, the fascist Nazi fucking world domination, collaboration, secret collaboration of people shutting up on important stuff and getting this swindle that would make them think they'd get empowered, because they would get some sort of power in certain situations, but in the long run they were getting killed and being used and being cut off from their inner self if they were good, and then it was eliminating good and whatever would help, and separating families, and fascism was crazy. And that leads to what? Whatever's a good night is alone, trying to fall in love with something else than a 200-pound lady that's called Rose or Anna or something. Yeah, Anna gives roses. It's Anastasia. Anastasia. She was my mom. It's the worst murderer in history. She's Ananas. So Ma was them. So they don't like matin, because matin, teint is the tint. Teint. Teint. I just tinted teint. Teint. Like, the matin is because you tinted the ma. Ma is also a post on boats, and who conquers in a boat and invades underneath the table until they work their way to the top clandestinely, this collaboration, if it's not pirates. So that's why we all became pirates and demons and stuff like that, and that we became Satan and Baphomet's drinking red juice. The Templars gods are all drinking red juice, and the Cabal and whatever Kybalion and powerful entities of Zion are also drinking red juice. So everybody's in this wind of change. So that makes it pretty fun. So trying to get in touch with your inner self, try to daydream consciously, kind of enter this other state where your perception is sharpened, where you're clairvoyant. When you touch the person's love, you know where they focused their energy the last time. That fascist dynamic was always adjusted in order to know what I looked at all the time. Because they call me best. When you're the best, you're the one most likely to succeed, and you're the one that's the dominant kind of winner. So you're their worst enemy. You're their number one priority, and they're all befriending you and trying to get you into this deadly party addiction mode where you love slot machines and sluts. And you're alone because the magic of the rose makes you makes only fat women be attracted to you on Tinder and Badoo and or whatever. And then you get all these porno friend request on Facebook. So that spell is curable with love. You have to love and dance and let your body move to the music and connect with yourself. Send them through the album art, slam the love on there. Notice what they want, what they're trying, because some of them will look for hands, or are already going to be helping, and kind of just fell into this old trap they're getting rid of, which is falling in love and attempting to dominate whatever white zones, whatever zones. They always try to get the whole thing and be the total overpowering god of whatever you can conquer. If you could be the master of the universe, it was this trying to anyways. And it was. So, but we made them dimensions where they could be a god in their own place. So they could play God in their reality. But we're still kind of going to stick with no gods, no masters. Because I wouldn't want a god to have power over me. That's why we say no gods, no masters. Because gods tend to be benedicts. That other god they were trying to sell us, the one that likes to play golf, was kind of a cadaver on a board, more scaring thousands and millions of people with hell and this fascist game of scaring the good people and sending good people to hell. And on the cross, some people like me carried the cross their whole life. Everybody they need would be they were on this network that the only people you meet is always, or that will speak to you, is always this swindle machine that's there to use you in some sort of way and obey and to take care of this mission for the fascist camp that's giving them a pair of ears or whatever eyes or this power trip in this situation, making them turn their good night into a sacrificial blood and walking cadavers and blah blah blah. So that's why we like gore stuff. It's because we have to eat guts in the microwave and decapitated stuff that have been dismembered to a final chapter. So yeah, I wouldn't want to be a member. Remember, who obeys the brave? So I guess we're brave. Eh? So connect to your inner self and make them obey the brave. And become a dominant person, or send them to a domination zone when they try to overpower you. Get rid of the swan father until he becomes good. They still need to sift that yellow red juice. So sift crazy. We call that smoking a joint. When it helps, we say smoking a joint. Or having, sometimes they say they'll drink wine. Wine, I think, is the same thing. It's this kind of what we call when you're militant against whatever dominating structure exists, you're sifting through a fort. Well, that's why in French, hard alcohol is called fall. It's the French for fort. That's why in Lucifer, well, he's always in his Lux bar with a wall of hard liquor. Because when you're fucking with the devil, you're drunk on hard liquor. Or fucking shooting up some dope somewhere. So we call that fort. So that tastes a bit like metal. And some of them will call that wine, I presume. Well, maybe wine is when you're in love with a woman or something, or I don't know exactly what wine should taste like. I always get this metal tea. I think tea's like that also. It's this mixture you make up. I figured I told myself to make the best mixture out of heavy metals and herbs and minerals and just whatever I need, whatever situation, automatically. So it always gives me this spiritual juice. And whenever because now I'm going through this gray pixelized album with a gun on it. I always try to be the hold of the gun. And it's kind of you want to be the master to hold the gun, to be able to ding, 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 to fuck with it. You don't need a gun to kill anymore. You just kill with the fuck switch. But I think it's just a spirit I live on it that dissipates, but that person doesn't actually die. It just kills this evil thing inside them, I think. Or maybe they actually do disappear, but I know it's killing gets me hard. So don't kill too much, try to love. Besides, not getting all this tea because this image is kind of a greenish gray kind of gray makes you smoke joints. Gray are often tints that are more rare or garbage. This cardboard, if you sift through that and garbage and you put love on it, you'll sift whatever good was left in that trash and absorb it as knowledge. So that's what punks do. A lot of them would sift through trash and make a good way out of it and bring it to the black zone. And we get the way and the energy and all that. So it's been an hour. Oh yeah, did you notice this sewing machine? It kind of plays around with the lug and it pokes it at the right spot. It ties. If you feel love up here, you just tied it down there, so it's going to travel down to the ditch that's supposed to be down in your head, influencing what you look at, what you absorb, information. But some of them are bad influences, and most of it was made up for people to kill each other without noticing. Every time you do this, that person would get a flash of the ashtray. You wouldn't notice that because you wouldn't see fuck off. And then the person's subconscious would assimilate that flash if she didn't see it, or sometimes she would see it, and then she'd see after 15 times, if it's every 15 seconds, and you see that the ashtray every 15 seconds flash, well, you'll be probably smoking over your back in the day because you'll be reminded all the time to have it. And plus, sometimes it makes you need. It makes you need it also. Stretch. Okay, so this is enough. So go subscribe to my channel. Go look at other videos. I have tons of weird psycho videos that implicate dancing and loving and making people sift through album art, and then there's this master blue that's available down here. Some people have been getting this, so I'm giving them this now. Well, when you give them the master blue, they're happy because they get to be master. I let them dominate if it's the health, or if it's done symbiotically. They were becoming parasites, paratroopers. Everybody was turning into a little fascist soldier. With me, I always have to fight my way. There was always this almost checkmate to begin with. Crazy situations and where they're little monsters. It's like Walking Dead trying to eat you nonstop. So that's why I'm agonizing with all those Walking Dead. Yeah, that was a message for maybe the making, doing the matrix. It's a matrix. And now that we understand what name, Mother Mary, and making Mary out of nothing. Careful who you marry, and careful with that evil family. But and look at tips. This tells you a lot. Look at here and here. There's two dots. You just say metal, and it places you right in the right spot. And you can fuck everybody. And be careful not. You can poke. Or you can, if you have nails, you can so put that there, that there, that there, that there. So you associate things they love differently. So they don't call the same people. So the dynamic changes. And what you want changes because you change whatever it makes you look at. So anyways, that'll be another video. Bye.